Tune into the Coach's Corner on Beaver County Radio every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. You can tune in by turning your radio dial to Beaver County Radio or by clicking the audio streaming apps on your phone or computer. You can also watch the video stream of the show on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. The Coach's Corner is being brought to you by Keystone Wellness Program, Patriot Home Care, the Grand Valley Inn, the Community College of Beaver County, the Beaver County Career and Technical Center, Falcones Moon Township Ford, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, St. Barnabas Dental and Dr. Peter J. Montini, Goldberg Persky and White, Friendly Federal Credit Union, the J&J Spratt Funeral Home, Geneva College, Carver Construction, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca, Beaver County Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Nissan, McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, Fisher's New Brighton Foodland, and Beaver County Radio.
And we're back. Another edition of Coach's Corner here on WBVP, WNBA, Beaver County Radio. Partially sponsored by Pizza Joe's from Beaver. They donate the pizza for these young men that come every week. Coaches, players. Today you're going to have myself, Mike Azadian, and I've got Ryan Garzunas on the controls. Ryan will also help out as well. Say hello, Ryan.
Hey, how you doing today, Mike?
Everybody loves that deep voice, that commercial-type voice. But today it's going to be all about the Wolverines. It's going to be not the Michigan Wolverines. We're going to bring this closer to you. Okay. Yeah, the Elwood City Wolverines and second-year coach, longtime veteran of the WPL in a few sports, Dan Bradley. Coach, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Coach, we talked off the air a little bit. You've won a WPIAL title at Our Lady of Sacred Heart. You've been to another title game with them. You were at 3 title games with Stowe Rocks. You coached at Ambridge. You've coached basketball at Avonworth. You've got coaching in your blood. And now you've got a chance at Elwood City. And when you came in, a lot of people said, boy, he's going to try to turn yet another program around. It has to feel good when people think of you as a guy that goes in and gets things done.
I guess it is a compliment when it does work out. But again, just the opportunity to have the means that we have. We have a nice stadium, a good weight room, supportive staff, and it really makes things a lot easier to do. Move in the right direction. So I think we're headed that way, and we'll see how things go.
Well, one thing a lot of people, the people that follow this know, you coached your son at Our Lady of Sacred Heart, and you won a WPL title with him as a quarterback.
Yes.
So it's double the fun. You didn't just get to watch your son play, you got to coach him. And, a lot of coaches do that, some in Little League, and there are some in high school that but not everybody gets to coach their kid in high school and win a title. How did that feel?
It was a very special moment just to enjoy the entire journey from his sophomore year on through his senior season, and just the success the team had, the success that he had personally and team wise was definite joy. And then he also had success playing basketball there.
Right.
And then I was still coaching at Avonworth. So I got to experience some of it, and I got to miss out on some of it as well.
So that's something that a lot of people don't do. You'll see this year you're going to be coaching Elwood City boys basketball. You'll see a football coach will coach basketball, or an assistant will coach. There'll be the head baseball coach, and guys are in the school and coach multiple sports. But not many guys are going to be the head coach of 2 different sports at 2 different schools. That's got to be a challenge.
You know what? I've done it on both ends, being an assistant and at one school and being a head at one and vice versa. But, being a head coach of 2 sports does make it a little bit easier because I get to make the schedule.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me that they've been centrally located where I can, not miss a practice or an open gym. So, whether the summer league or fall league came after a football workout or a 7-on-7 after a basketball workout, it was pretty manageable.
Plus, it takes good help, good assistance, good people. You'll get the name in the paper. You get the interviews afterwards. And, yeah, people within organizations know who your guys are, but the assistants don't get a lot of pub. Some don't want it. But talk to me about some of the guys. I'm guessing you got some guys that have been with you for a long time, or is it a lot of new guys?
No, a lot of guys that we've been together for a long time.
You can mention their names, give them some pub.
Rich Chambers, offensive line, defensive line coach. I met him in college. We were college roommates back in the early 90s.
Where'd you go to college again?
Bethany College.
Okay, we'll talk about that hopefully a little bit later. Okay, go ahead.
David Coleman, Coach Juice, met him in 2000 at Stowe Rocks. We've been together the better part of 23 years, give or take a few. Zach Reinheimer, met him at Ambridge, so he's been with us 10 years. And Jeff Holbert, I met him at Olsh, and so this will be his 7th year with us.
When you meet these coaches, when you're at a place, when it comes time to go to a new opportunity for whatever reasons, is it something that you obviously discuss with family, discuss with the coaches, or is this something that you just take personal and do and then tell them, this is what I've done? How does that work?
My family's been supportive in all the moves that I've done. Sometimes they said, look before you leap.
Right.
But I kind of left anyway. The coaches I talk to, and they say, well, I don't know. I said, let's go do it. And they've been supportive. A couple times, one or two may have ventured off, but they came back, and I'm very appreciative of them coming back.
A lot of people will stay in one place for a long, long time. You've got guys like Bill Cherpak. You've got guys like Art Walker. You've got Lucero at Montour. There's a lot of different guys that do things like that. And you were there at Stowe Rocks. You had good teams. Unfortunately, ran up against Clairton a few too many times. You did beat them once. But you take a chance and you go to Ambridge. Then you take a chance and you go to Our Lady of Sacred Heart, which was a team that was rather new. And what is it that you like about taking challenges of places that Ambridge, Our Lady of Sacred Heart, and Elwood City, teams that have had some rough years before you got there?
With the exception of Ambridge, the other places, I was just, I think I was ready for a new challenge.
Okay.
Ambridge, just maybe I was there at the wrong place, the wrong time.
Okay.
A lot of, just a lot of disruption and everything going on there with the transfers, the educational process. I don't want to talk negatively about anything, but
you don't have to.
It just wasn't good timing for me there. So still a lot of friendships carry over from my days at Ambridge. Parted on good terms, and I wish them well.
Okay.
But everything else, I think I was just ready for a new challenge, and what that means is different things with youth programs, facilities, who's coming in, what you have to look for down the road, and a lot of those things I didn't have at those other places, I do have at Elwood City.
If you're just joining us, we're with Dan Bradley, head coach of the Elwood City Wolverines. We're on Coach's Corner here on Beaver County Radio. Still not ready for our first break. We got some more time with him, and we have 4 players we're going to be talking to a little bit later and try to get Coach on a little bit at the very end. Talk to me about when you got to Elwood, what were the first signs that you knew things were going to start to improve?
Just the numbers that we had were pretty good. We were in the mid-40s, low 40s. The commitment to the weight room, attendance was high, and just the energy in the room. Good energy in the weight room, attendance and energy on the field. And if you have players with good work ethic and good coaches, you can make progress.
A lot of guys come into places, you can name every Butler, Albert Galton, a lot of places that didn't have success. You get a lot of coaches with a lot of ideas, but you can have every idea in the world. But my personal opinion is you've got to be able to connect with the kids somehow, because yelling at them and telling them to do something, kids are going to tune you out. I mean, you have to earn their respect. They have to earn your respect. Talk to us about that. I mean, what's it take for kids to know, yeah, okay, I'm Dan Bradley. I've won a WPL title. Those kids were 12 years old.
Right.
Okay, so they really probably didn't know you. They might have heard, but what's it take to get kids to respect, to earn, for you to gain their respect?
I don't know if there's one thing or 2 things or 5 things that you can put a finger on. I just want my players to know that I believe in them, and if they apply themselves, and we talked about attendance and commitment and those things, that we can do this together. We coach them hard, we love them hard. I think we teach them good scheme on both sides, and we've had success over the years.
So Elwood City, pretty much in the last 20 years, always known for softball. A lot of great softball players. They had a baseball championship. They've been pretty good in baseball over the years. Basketball's been up and down, but up lately. But everybody knows football drives things. That brings communities together. What's it like now that people are starting to believe and the community starting to get behind you? Talk to us about the community, how they received you, and what it's like in Elwood on Friday nights now.
For me, things have been fantastic. The way the community, the school, the administration, talk to me, and about our players is all positive. It was years ago in talking with my son, who was still in high school at the time, about how Elwood City and Riverside was one of the biggest basketball rivalries known.
For years.
And not knowing that and going up to see a game, it was wild. It was pretty intense and contagious atmosphere. Last season, my first year, we didn't have our stadium. We played most of our games on the road. We had 2 home games last year.
Right.
So when we came home, there was good attendance. We played better than what we had in previous seasons. Came up short, but you can see that the support is definitely there for all the sports.
Another thing is you're not just going in there coaching and teaching and talking to 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders. You have to be involved somewhat with youth programs. Or do you have your hand in that? Was that something that was given to you? Or is there a feeder system that you have? Was that something that was a requirement of the job where, hey, listen, if I'm going to do this, I have to be able to get my hand in the youth kids too?
I don't think it's a requirement from any school district, but it is best practices. So, I think any successful coach reaches down, through the program into the midgets and are visible. We have youth camps. We'll go to practices.
Okay.
We'll take players. We have a midget player who's a captain on game night, so they'll come out. We have youth nights. So a little bit of everything going on there, trying to reach down through the players, through the whole system, and just create a family-like atmosphere.
That's one thing that I noticed at the good programs. Like when you go to Aliquippa, there's 10, 12, 15 kids playing. When you go to some of these places, there's 10, 12 kids on the sideline, hanging around, watching the players. And these kids grow up watching it. And to them, in these little local communities, they're the heroes. And I always wondered, and I know from talking to the late Bob Amelia, he would go and see kids when they were in 6th or 7th grade and know then whether a kid's going to be a relief pitcher, a kid could be a second baseman. And then they could gear those kids coaching-wise. So in football, when you see a kid that's 12, 13, 14 years old, can you kind of tell sometimes by their speed, by their size, to what they may need coached and helped with, or you just kind of let them play and have fun?
I guess both.
Okay.
You want them to play and have fun, but you want to encourage them to develop. Some players just have natural God-given ability, athleticism, ball skills. Then you have just the big kids that you want to get in a weight room and make them lift and get stronger. It's just keep them involved. I know their name. They know who I am.
Right,
and the other guys.
Right.
So when I see them at at Sheets or
exactly.
passing by, hey coach, hey, and I'm like, hey,
It's kind of like the coach goes into the barber shop in the town. And yeah, I get it. We talked about what you saw about signs of getting better. Talk about the talented kids. Today we have Luciano Gagrick, Luciano Gagrick, Michael Walters, Evan Twiddell, and Chris Smiley, 4 of the young men. Talk to us about some of the talent. We'll talk more about those kids later, but talk to us about some of the talented kids you have.
You know what? And again, I don't want to miss anybody, so I apologize to everybody.
It's hard.
But
Can't get everybody.
No, but it all starts with our offensive line and defensive line. Going from left to right across the front. We had Maddox Singer, who suffered a little injury. Hopefully he's able to come back upon different things. Tristan Reynolds has taken his spot, a sophomore. Maddox was a junior. Our left guard is Evan Twiddell. He was all-conference both ways last year. Our center is the junior Logan McClymans. Our right guard is Shane Lutz, who was all-conference last year. Our right tackle was Ryder Grinnan, who's a senior, who was all-conference both ways last year.
So that's good. Building the line out.
It all starts there in our quarterback and our receivers and our running backs all benefit from the hard work that they do up front.
Well, we're going to talk more with you on the end of the show, but right now we're going to take a break and be back with a couple of the players. I'm not sure who we're going to have first, but we'll get them in here. The Elwood City Wolverines here today on the Coach's Corner, only on Beaver County Radio.
Hey, it's time to wake up, Beaver Valley. Hi, this is Pastor David Grove from the Church of the Redeemed of Beaver Valley. After over 2 years on the air, it seems that some of you still cannot get up in time. So I've got good news. Wake Up Beaver Valley is moving to a new time, now airing from 9 to 10, this and every Saturday morning. It's time to wake up and turn our hearts back to the cross of Jesus Christ. So I invite you to wake up early this Saturday. To find out more, it's Wake Up Beaver Valley, Saturdays from 9 until 10 a.m. on Beaver County Radio. God bless you.
Now that the sights and sounds of summer are fading in your rearview mirror, there's still time to enjoy your classic car and turn heads this fall. Restore your cherished ride to its former glory and call Gnu's Body Works in Freedom. Gary Snare has been offering collision and restoration services for over 20 years. Everything from lowering or airbagging your rod or street custom to full custom color paint, Gnu's also handles collision and general repairs. Say hello to cooler weather with the hottest car around. Call Gnu's Body Works, 408th Street in Freedom. Here's one powwow your bow wow won't want to miss. It's the first annual Tri-State Pet Expo Saturday and Sunday, September 23rd and 24th at the Beaver Valley Mall in Monaca, presented by Deal Automotive and Wags on 3rd and Beaver and the Beaver Area JCs. If you're looking to enhance the lives of your beloved fur kids, this is one free event you won't want to miss. Experience agility and training demonstrations, educational courses on basic pet first aid, pet nutrition, dog body language, a pet costume contest, and much more. The first annual Tri-State Pet Expo, September 23rd and 24th at the Beaver Valley Mall.
Beaver County High School football has always been known as the best high school football around. And again this year, everybody around the world will get to see and hear the action on Beaver County Radio. It's the battle for the Little Brown Jug on Friday night as the New Brighton Lions host the Beaver Falls Tigers in MAC action at Oak Hill Field. Coverage on Beaver County Radio begins with pregame at 6:30 and kickoff is set for 7. Friday night's game can be seen live on our Facebook page at WBVP-WMBA, along with our YouTube page at BCR Radio, and online at beavercountyradio.com, along with your radio dial. High school football on Beaver County Radio this season is being brought to you in part by Keystone Wellness Program, Patriot Home Care, the Grand Valley Inn, A.K. Nahas Furniture Gallery, the Community College of Beaver County, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center, Drug Free Aliquippa, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, and Moon Township Ford, among others. So tune in every Friday night right here on Beaver County Radio.
We are back on Coach's Corner on Beaver County Radio. A lot of big things coming up with Beaver County Radio. Our last car cruise coming up on Saturday. Of course, Friday night we've got football. We've got the jug game. New Brighton and Beaver Falls, that is this year at New Brighton. Will be on air at 6:30, game time 7, with Mr. Mangino, Mr. Fry, and myself. But today, Coach's Corner, we're talking to the Elwood City Wolverines. Pizza Joe's. Some of the kids are eating pizza. Big growing guy like you, come on, you got to have at least a slice. Pizza Joe's from Beaver, thank you to them as always. Great menu, good pizza. We have Luciano Gagrick, running back linebacker, a junior. And we've got Michael Walters, a senior wide receiver defensive end. I knew you played wide receiver, Michael, and a lot of times you don't have to be a big hulking guy to play defensive end. You just need to be sometimes speed, but a guy with your height playing defensive end, do you ever intimidate any kids on the offensive line? Do they ever get up there and say, look at this guy, he's so tall, how can I handle him?
I'm not really too sure, because on the line I'm just looking at him and we're just keeping eye contact, and whenever the ball snapped, it's just heads on. But nobody's ever really said, "Oh, you're huge, I don't want to play against you."
So I'll ask you this before I get to Luciano. You play two completely different positions. Usually it's wide receiver, defensive back. Did you get talked into playing defensive end, or did you always want to play defensive end?
Well, previously, the last time I played football, I played defensive end, so I kind of knew the position.
Okay.
The rest of the positions I didn't know as well. So I was like, I'll give defensive end a shot. I know I have history on the position.
Good. So now, game's on the line. Do you want to catch the winning touchdown as a receiver, or as a defensive end, do you want to stop that kid from scoring the winning touchdown? What would you rather do?
Probably catch the ball.
Usually it's 90% of the time that's the questions I get. So, Luciano, I got a feeling You look like you want to be the star at running back, scoring a touchdown and not stopping a guy, right? Or is it the other way?
Absolutely. Every chance I can get.
Chicks dig the touchdowns. Is that what we're saying?
Always. Absolutely, 100%.
So, Luciano, talk to us. We talked briefly before you guys were on air. Coach Dan Bradley comes in. You're a sophomore. You've kind of grown up and seen the program struggle. There's been a few different coaches.
Yep.
Some guys have tried different things. You and your buddies got to be shaking your head. And then you get a guy coming in. You don't know who he is. You do know maybe that he's won a title. And he's been to title games, and he's done some good things. And what was the atmosphere of the kids like when he first came in?
I mean, I think from my perspective specifically, we were all very excited. I mean, got a new coach after so many years not winning a game, and you get a new coach to come in with an entire new coaching staff. I mean, that's the only thing I can explain it by is excitement.
What's it like when you're playing on a team that things aren't going well? It wasn't like you were losing games by 1 and 2 points.
Yeah.
It was struggles. I mean, how do you keep going in situations like that?
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's all about the love for the sport.
Okay.
If you don't love the sport, you can't play it.
Ryan, what do you got for these guys?
I was just looking over their schedule here, actually, Mike, and I noticed that your coach said something, and I'm kind of veering off a little bit here. You said you just played a lot of away games last year.
Yes.
And I'm noticing this year guys have a lot of home games.
Because they played.
So that really works to their favor, I think. Elwood City has, I mean, it's a handful of home games, literally about 2 away games on the season. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that is right.
That's amazing. That really is, guys. Mike's asking a lot of good questions. My first question, however, though, is you guys have the Freedom Bulldogs this week. You guys came off of a big Carleton win last week. What are you guys going to carry over from last week to this week to hope to get the win over Freedom?
Definitely more intensity.
Okay.
Last week was probably not one of our best performances. Although we did come out with the win.
You did 25-12. I mean, that's not a bad game.
Not at all, but could have been better.
And prior to that, the other game that you played in the week before that was Union, they had a really good season last year. I don't know what they're really doing this year, but looking at all these home games, coming off with this nice strong win with Carleton, Freedom, then Western Beaver, I look forward to Elwood City to have a really good season. I really do.
All right, guys. So you got Ryan behind you. I don't know if that means anything. But he's a Steeler fan, so hey, what's I going to tell you? So, Michael, you said you don't play any other sports?
No, sir.
Don't play basketball. Did they try to talk you into playing basketball with your height?
Yeah, I actually was only going to play basketball because Coach Brad was the coach,
Uh-huh.
and I really like him as a coach.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of wanted to work more, just
Concentrate on football.
yeah.
So, being a senior, you've been through this stuff. You've seen the good, you've seen the bad. Now you're starting to see some success. Still a long way to go. As a senior, I'm guessing some of the younger guys look up to you for some leadership. Are you more of a quiet leader, more of a leader that just does things by example, or are you kind of the guy that isn't afraid to grab a face mask and yell at a kid if you have to?
I'm more of, just...
Not that we approve of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm more of just like a, watch what I do. I'm not really one to scream in their face, tell them what to do. I just try my best to lead by example, do the right things, run the right routes so that they can watch me and they can do what I do.
So, obviously, beginning of your senior year, let's talk about your future. Do you want to play football? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to just go straight to work? Or what are your plans right now? Or do you still everything up in the air?
I was looking forward to going to college to study law enforcement. I wanted to be a police officer after high school. But I'm also considering going to the Army and then going to be a police officer right after that.
Okay. So you got some service in your blood. That's good. Is that because people in your family are police officers or service-oriented, or just something you've always wanted to do?
Yeah, my uncle's a cop for Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And he can get me into the police force a lot easier, and it's just always something I wanted to do.
I like it. Okay, Luciano, you're a junior, so you still have some time. Running back, linebacker. Let's talk about what it's like now at home games. You're running out of the tunnel, running out onto the field, and now you're starting to get some support. What's it like on a Friday night under the lights, coming and just coming out on the field?
I mean, there's nothing else like it.
Everybody says that.
It's just a great energy to be around. Every Friday, we're blessed to be able to play the sport we love.
How are the kids in school taking things now? Because it's like Coach Bradley said, you can be good in softball. That's nice. Baseball, track and field, swimming. You've got a lot, the Roth kids were good in swimming, all kind of different things. But nothing carries a school like football.
Yes.
Now you guys are starting to win. People are starting to notice. What's it like in school? What are your kids saying? What's everybody talking about?
I mean, in school, it's just mainly positive. I mean, everyone has a lot of confidence in us now, more confidence than we used to have previously.
That builds you guys up too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
tons of support.
that's good. So let's say you're a junior, of course, but what are your ideas as far as what do you want to do? Where do you want to be in 3 or 4 years? Are you a kid that wants to go to college? Are you a kid that wants to learn a trade? What do you see in your future?
Right now, I have football on my sights. For
Okay.
My future.
Okay.
I would love to be able to have the opportunity to play college.
No matter where it's at. So football is something that's in your blood. Do you play any other sports?
I do not.
Another guy that plays no sports. Just dedicated.
Growing up, I played baseball and basketball, and then around 7th grade is when I started football, and that just took over.
What is it about football? Hitting people, getting hit? What is it about football that keeps you loving it so much?
Both. And just in the study of the game is
Yeah.
what keeps me going. Learning, watching film, trying to just be the best at what I can do.
Sounds like you want to be involved in football even after you play or done playing football.
Absolutely.
Like a coach or
Coaching,
administrator or
100%.
something like that.
Yes.
Okay, good. Sounds good. You guys did pretty well, I think, so far of all of our groups.
You look forward to staying in the area? I mean, I know that you said after high school you'd like to maybe continue playing some football, go to college, do things like this. Are you looking to stay in the area or say, hey, you know what, I want to get out of PA and
Hey, if I were to get an offer from anyone,
Yeah.
He's gonna
I
look.
would look through my options
Yeah.
for sure. But staying in the area definitely wouldn't be anything I'm against.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also for Michael, you did say that you wanted to be a police officer a lot of your life. I mean, it's something that you've always had an interest in doing?
Yes, sir. Whenever I was younger, I used to play like Call of Duty games,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I really enjoyed like the combat and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I could do this in real life. And
Yeah.
just seeing police officers and like SWAT teams, the Army, all that, it's just like interesting to me. I've always wanted to do.
Never going to have too many. We'll never have too many, you know, so.
I do think that Coach Bradley may talk him into being a backup forward center.
Okay.
I got a feeling he's going to get talked into
How
playing
tall
some
are you,
basketball.
Michael?
It's like 6'5".
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I can see it. If Coach Bradley, he's not going to be doing his job. He doesn't get you to go out there. I can see you. I mean, you might not get a lot of playing time with Mr. Roth playing, but you might get some, and then you get to work out and keep in shape.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe.
a plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always a plus.
Trying to talk him into it, Coach. Pretty much. Guys, one thing I didn't ask you, Luciano, you're a talkative kid. You're a junior. I got a feeling they brought you. You're a team leader as well. You don't have to be a senior to be a leader.
No, not
Talk
at
to us
all.
about you being a leader on the team.
I mean, the main thing is where it starts is being vocal.
Okay.
Got to be vocal. Got to let everyone know, like, we're in it. We're here. We're playing now. Like, let's go.
Away from football, what do you like to do? Just like football
outdoorsman.
did? Or you're an outdoorsman?
Yes, very big outdoorsman. Hunting, fishing.
You like to?
All of
Okay, good.
Yep.
And Michael, you already said Call of Duty, but is there anything you like to do away from sports?
Yeah, I like to hunt, fish,
Okay.
just outdoor stuff, just like Lucci.
Good stuff. These guys are well-rounded.
I like it. I like it,
it
a lot.
too.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to get 2 more guys in here pretty soon. They're out there listening. We're going to see if these guys are starting. I'd say this is our week. This is our 4th week. We've had some good groups. We had Freedom Group was good. Last week, Rochester Group was good. Blackhawk Group was pretty good. We had some kids that were a little quiet, but these 2 pretty good. I think
absolutely.
They're right up there so far in our leading group.
Before we do go into next break, I had my head in the computer. Which one of you guys wanted to be, would rather make the big play on defense, and who wanted the touchdown?
No, they both wanted to score.
You both wanted to score.
Come on, man.
Okay. You know what? We haven't had that yet, Mike.
We did have one guy last week, I think.
I don't think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But we never had 2 guys at once.
That's the way it goes.
That's all
The
right.
chicks dig the touchdowns.
That's
man.
right.
That's the way it goes.
Got to
man.
go where the chicks are.
All right, for Luciano Gagrick, Michael Walters, I'm Mike Azadian. We're going to be back. We're going to take another break here on the Coach's Corner, only on Beaver County Radio. Guys,
At Geneva College, your academic experience will prepare you with exceptional expertise in your chosen field. But what you'll learn is so much more than just that. Integrating faith and learning, you'll grow to see God's purpose and calling in your life's work. You'll be challenged to imagine how the world around you could be different and what your part might be in making that difference. You were made to live courageously. Visit geneva.edu today.
Now that the sights and sounds of summer are fading in your rearview mirror, there's still time to enjoy your classic car and turn heads this fall. Restore your cherished ride to its former glory and call Gnu's Body Works in Freedom. Gary Snare has been offering collision and restoration services for over 20 years. Everything from lowering or airbagging your rod or street custom to full custom color paint, Gnu's also handles collision and general repairs. Say hello to cooler weather with the hottest car around. Call Gnu's Body Works, 408th Street in Freedom. When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Fry stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Fry Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their communities, best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Fry Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
The Rochester True Value, located inside the Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard, is proudly serving the community. The Rochester True Value is independently owned and operated and has experienced workers who can help you with your home projects. The Rochester True Value has tools, products, and all the equipment needed for you to get the job done. The Rochester True Value inside the Shop and Save is open and ready to help with your home improvements. That's the Rochester True Value in Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard.
It's all about Elwood City today. The Wolverines, 2-1 start. A lot of people kind of knew this might happen with Dan Bradley at the helm. Dan has helped turn around and keep a team like Stowe Rocks going and Our Lady of Sacred Heart, and then makes the decision to come to Elwood City. And two of his players, we have Evan Twiddell, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, and a junior. And Chris Smiley, we're going to get Chris to speak up here. He's a little quiet. He's the quarterback. Only the quarterback, Chris. Is that your choice to just play quarterback, or do you want to get on the defensive side?
That's the coach's choice.
Keep you healthy. Is that's what it is?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So here's the first question, the biggest question is, are you always this quiet in the huddle? Are you like the kind of guy that goes in? I heard from sources, because I'm a reporter, that you go in the huddle and talk like this with the guys. Is that true?
It's because I keep my mouthpiece in. I don't really taking it out and put it back in.
To take it out sometimes.
So you can hear the plays.
Yeah.
What, have you guys ever had the wrong play called because you can't understand them?
No.
No.
Not yet.
You sure?
I haven't been yelled at, so I don't think no.
Just because you haven't been yelled at doesn't mean something's wrong. So Chris, is this your first year starting quarterback?
No, it's my second.
Second year. Talk to us about the differences now from last year to this year. Obviously, the guys are taking them with Coach Dan Bradley. Everybody seems to like them. The community likes them. You guys are excited. What are the positives from when you came back this year?
Very excited. We are a lot more confident.
Okay.
Than we were last year.
All
we
right.
seemed scared a little bit.
Okay.
Because it was all like our first years on varsity and stuff.
Okay. Okay, good. So let's go, Evan. Evan, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. I'm kind of glad almost every school has brought at least, I'm trying to think back, at least a lineman or two, which I like. So what is it you like about playing offensive and defensive line?
It's very physical every play.
Okay.
Protect him.
Okay.
So then he doesn't crawl down my spine. But
so protecting the quarterback a bigger thing to you than going after the quarterback, or is it about the same?
Well, I'm a nose on defense, so
you're eating up people. You're not really going after the
two or
QB.
3 guys on me all the time.
Okay. All right. So generally, the teams you play against, are you bigger than the other guys on the other side of the line? Same size? A little smaller?
Normally, I'm about the same or smaller.
Okay.
Between my height and weight, but my strength and
quickness.
Yeah, agility.
You may not know it by looking at me. I'm exceptionally quick.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? All right. Do they believe it?
I believe it, but I don't know if they do.
It might take me 10 minutes to crawl across this table. That's quick though. I have agility and quickness like you wouldn't believe. No, I don't. I did it back in the day. So let's go back to Chris. Chris obviously is the quarterback. Everybody looks at you to be the leader. You're a little bit of a quiet kid. That's okay. Talk to us about the way you lead a team. If things aren't going right, if somebody's not paying attention in a huddle, do you say something to the kids? Do you confront them? Do you let the coaches do it? Or do you bring a guy like Evan in to help you out? What's your style like?
Well, usually in the huddle, everybody usually pays attention. When I
Okay,
get in.
usually. I heard that word, usually. What if they don't? What if they don't? That was my question.
Then Coach Nate screams at him, and he's very scary.
He's very scared. Okay, this isn't Halloween. Okay, so Chris, talk to us about, you're still a junior. You play basketball as well. I saw you play a couple of times, and I like the way you guys competed the last couple of years. You're still you're only a junior. You still got time. What do you see in your future? Maybe there's football involved. Maybe there's basketball involved. Maybe there's not. What do you want to do when that's all over? What do you want to do with your life?
I haven't really made up my mind what I want to
It's
do.
okay.
I like playing sports.
Okay.
Football and basketball.
But if it doesn't work out, let's say construction, accountant, is there anything when you were growing up other than sports you really liked and you thought that would be cool to do? Kind of like what Michael was talking about, being a policeman, or, what do you think?
Honestly, I don't really
Don't know yet.
I don't know.
Well, Mom and Dad, you think you gotta say something to him. Gotta get him out there, man. I think a lawyer, maybe. I think I could see you fighting on the other side of the aisle over there. I'm just kidding around. Hey, so Evan, I'll ask you the same question. You're a junior. You still got time to go as well. Where do you see yourself after football is done?
Well, I hope to go to college for it, but
Good. What would you like to study in college?
well, my dad's an electrical engineer. He
Oh.
works at a nuclear power plant.
Okay.
And I have an interest in chemistry, so hopefully some sort of like chemical engineering.
Is that your favorite subject in school, chemistry?
I'm taking it for my first year this year, and I'm liking it.
You
so
like it a
far,
lot?
so, yeah.
So growing up, other than gym, don't say gym, because I had a kid last 2 weeks ago say gym. We won't mention the Freedom Kid's name that said that. I'm just kidding. What's your favorite subjects? What do you like?
Probably math.
Math a lot? Numbers guy?
It just clicks for me.
Does it?
Usually.
Okay. How about you, Chris? What do you think? What's your favorite subject in school? Please don't say gym. Don't say sports.
I actually like history.
Okay, history's cool.
Yeah.
What do you like about history? What is it about history that really gets you going? That you like?
I don't know. I just like to learn about
Stuff like the
past
Civil
and stuff.
War and World War II and like what our ancestors did, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, most of the wars and stuff. They're interesting.
Okay, good. Good stuff. All right, so guys, let's say you got a Friday night off. There's no football and there's no basketball. And are you hanging out with the family? Are you going out with your friends? Are you playing video games? What are you doing to relax? Chris, you go first.
Either just laying down, probably playing my PlayStation, or with friends.
Okay. With friends, what are you doing? Going to the mall, going to the movies. What are you doing?
Usually just
It's
hang
not
out.
standing on a corner. This isn't 1950s where all clicking their fingers with leather jackets on. I mean, come on. What are you doing? What are you doing with your friends?
I don't really go places very often. I usually
They
just,
come to the house and hang out.
Usually just go to their house.
Hang
just
out.
Hang out.
Drink Pepsi.
I noticed that to be a trend, Mike. After
I know, everybody-
after COVID,
That's okay.
kids don't go out as much and
That's
do
all
the
right.
things, you
Again,
know.
staying out of trouble.
Well, I that's what I would do, but you see that a lot more. Kids just don't go out the way they did pre-COVID.
I'm going to get to your questions in a second. I'm going to get Evan's answer to that question. What do you do, like, if you're looking to do something on a it doesn't matter. It could be Friday, it could be Saturday, it could be any day. What are you doing when you're away from football?
Well, I like to do stuff with my friends a lot.
Okay.
I'll play video games, go to someone's house, go out to a movie. Just
Cool.
Usually something with friends.
So you guys aren't hunting Bambi like Luciano and Michael are, though. You're not out there
Well-
hunting and fishing like those guys are.
I'm a Boy Scout.
Oh, are you
actually.
really? So
I do camping and
So you could teach those guys anything then. How to tie a knot. And I was in
Maybe.
the Scouts.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good program.
That's pretty good stuff. Yeah, I remember a lot of good, cool stuff with Scouts. They brought owls and falcons and stuff in and taught us about birds and all kind of cool stuff.
A lot to learn.
That's good. So let me ask you guys. Obviously, you're going to say score the touchdown, because you're the quarterback. But Evan, offensive lineman, do you want to make that block so somebody scores, or do you want to be on a defensive line and clog up that middle and stop a team from scoring at the end of the game?
Definitely defensive.
Definitely defense. Here we go.
But I don't
Every
think
week, there's one guy.
I don't think he would pass up picking up that fumble and rumbling, stumbling, and tumbling into the
had
end
that.
zone either
Oh,
at the end of the
we saw
game.
that.
Never. I would love to touch the
Right,
ball.
but I mean, if it came down to it, He wants to stop something. Ryan, what do you got for these guys? Anything?
No, I just want to go back to something that Evan had said with the chemical engineering. I like when a lot of, when these high school kids, they choose these career paths that I don't even know what they are, so I don't even understand what that means, but it's awesome. I hope that you do become a chemical engineer. I can't even say it, let alone understand it, but very impressive.
Well, I'm very excited because now I know that maybe 6, 7, 8 years from now, if I'm driving around downtown Pittsburgh and Michael Walters pulls me over, I got a free pass.
Right.
I mean, there's just no doubt about it. He's going to let me go.
Right.
I'll remember him. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. He doesn't forget a face.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That's what it is. So, guys, anything you want to ask me? Let's turn the tables. What do you got?
I don't think so. You got anything?
Nothing? Let's talk about basketball. Chris, you excited to have Coach Bradley as the basketball coach?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Okay, so you lose, one senior from the basketball team?
Yeah, just one.
Okay, just one. You guys made the playoffs last year. A lot of people felt 2 years ago, you were one of the best teams there was. Won a title a couple years. When you were a freshman, you guys won a title, right?
No, I was in 8th.
You were in 8th grade. Okay, so do you think you guys have enough to challenge this year? I mean, it's way, way early. It's still football season. But as far as basketball goes, how are you and your friends feeling about the future of the basketball team?
Really excited. We're a lot more confident. I think we could do the same.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So talk to us about the fans and the school support. Evan, let's start with you. A lot of teams have themes. Kids have themes. They wear different colors. You'll have a Hawaiian net. You'll have this. Do your fans do anything fun like that for you guys?
Well, we started having pep rallies again.
Good.
Those are a good morale booster.
Okay.
And just
more kids coming to the games?
Definitely, and participating in the trends they have in the student sections. It's nice to see more fans.
What's it mean to you to have the kids you grew up with? And of course, you're not as close to some kids as you are others. But what's it mean to have these kids coming out and following you guys now?
It's great to have their support and the things that I love, and I mean I've seen them around my whole life. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, so being a quarterback, everybody looks at you. You walk around school, the girls look at you, the guys look at you. Everybody looks at the quarterback. So how do you take that responsibility? I mean, obviously you have to take it seriously, not just for your coaches, not for your parents, but for the kids in school. You're not just wearing the uniform on the front, but you're also wearing that name on your back. How serious do you take that?
Take it pretty serious. I don't want to do something stupid and mess everything up.
Now, is he the point guard as well, Mike? Do you run point in basketball?
Yeah.
So you're the quarterback, point guard. You're that guy. We like that guy. Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt. So what's it like now that you guys are starting to get more support, starting to win? People are excited. What are kids coming up to you in school saying? What are they saying?
Everybody's so excited because they haven't seen a good, decent football
haven't seen
team.
a winner in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Right, no doubt. How about when you walk around? Do you walk around downtown Elwood City, or is it? I mean, does everybody live like in Elwood City, or is it pretty much the town of Elwood City, or is it a little bit outside? Where do you live?
I live in town and like a little bit outside.
Okay. So do you walk around town? Do people notice you?
I don't really walk around town much.
But have you ever had people notice you as, hey, that kid plays for Elwood City, he's the quarterback? Have you ever had that happen?
Yeah, I've had some people.
What's that like?
It's
I mean, I know what it's like. This, I'm just kidding around. I mean, but what's it like when because you're young and you're like, wait, man, people know who I am. But that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Especially when it's a little kid.
Yeah, I like when little kids are always like, go throw more touchdowns for me.
Do you ever have to sign an autograph yet?
No, I've never signed an autograph.
Yeah, you will. Don't worry. Kids keep asking. How about you, Evan? Any kids ever ask you for an autograph after a game? Any kids milling around asking you?
Nah, the big
Not
boys
yet?
don't get much love. But
you never know.
The older people notice.
Hey,
more
Dan
than-
Bradley gets love. He's a big guy. I get love. I'm a big guy. Come on. Offensive lineman. You just got to tell people it's not for me. You wouldn't even hear about him, right?
I love them though.
Oh, really? So let me ask you this. You guys, all four came here. Why did you guys get picked over other teammates? Because you were available, or because the coach thought you guys were team leaders? Because I never asked him that. I was kind of curious sometimes why certain kids get picked.
I feel like it was because we had a variety between the positions and the leadership throughout the team. We're more of, I guess.
Are you guys all best buddies? Are you guys all friends? Is it like, because I know sometimes you're closer to other guys on a team. Like those two guys seem to be buddies. You guys seem to be pretty close. Or are you just close with everybody?
We're all friends, but we have our little groups.
Different cliques, different groups,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Elwood City Wolverines. Ryan, you got anything else for these guys before the next break?
No, I'm good, Mike.
I mean, he's a man of few words, but very effective. He's got that commercial voice. You're going to hear him one of these days. Alka-Seltzer. Pizza Joe's, by the way, sponsoring this. I see Luciano was out there eating. You finally decided to eat a piece. Did Michael eat a piece yet? Yeah, he needs to bulk up a little bit on the defensive line. Good. But Pizza Joe's, thank you to them. And we're going to be back. We're going to have Dan Bradley.
Being
on
part of a
last time.
credit
We're gonna talk
union
about
is like being
all the
part of-
games around the WPL, not WPL, the Beaver County area. And we'll be back here on WBVP as part of the Coach's Corner.
Visit Friendly Federal Credit Union in Baden, Arapahoe. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter or click friendlyfcu.org. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Friendly Federal Credit Union. You got a friend.
In order to call the right play, you have to be able to communicate. Dental hygiene not only affects appearance and eating habits, it can also have an impact on your ability to speak clearly. Dr. C. Timothy Lip wants you to keep your teeth in the game, and he has a playbook designed for success so that you can call the right play or even call an audible. Get suited up for a win, or at least a winning smile, by joining Dr. C. Timothy Lip's team in Beaver Falls or Robinson Township. Visit lipdentistry.com.
Listening to live sports on the radio in Beaver County is a tradition. This is Craig Fontana from Moon Township Ford, and I ought to know. My dad, Bill Fontana, has called games for over 50 years. Beaver County people know a good call when they hear one, and the best call you can make is to buy your next new or used vehicle at Moon Township Ford. Click moontownshipford.net or visit Moon Township Ford on University Boulevard.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
If you're a parent that's already watched plenty of youth baseball or soccer games, you know the value of teamwork. Whether it's the team on the field or your team of family members at home, strengthening that group can pay off in many ways. Keystone Wellness Programs is offering their free Strengthening Families program in Beaver County for families of children ages 10 to 14. Learn how to increase family bonding and communications, all while having fun together. Visit KeystoneWellnessPrograms.org for details.
We're back on Coach's Corner. Mike Azadian solo tonight with Ryan Garzunas. Please tell me I got Garazunas.
Yes.
There it is. Got back behind the controls. John Parada could not make it tonight. Condolences to his family on the passing of his mother-in-law. And John will be back with us next week. Not sure who we're going to have next week yet, but we will figure that all out. Back with Coach Dan Bradley. Coach, pretty good group of kids. Varied interests. You got guys that want to hunt and fish. You got guys playing video games. You got a gentleman that wants to be a policeman of service. You seem to have is that why you chose these guys, to have different types of kids?
Those aren't the reasons.
Okay.
Like you touched upon, they are leaders. They're leaders of our team. They're leaders in the locker room, statistically leaders in different categories, and proven students as well.
So, you talk to us about you a little bit. We know your background in football, but you mentioned you went to Bethany College.
Yes.
Where did you go to high school?
Washington High School.
Washington. So that's where you're from, Washington, PA. Yes. So Washington, PA to Bethany. What took you to Bethany? Football?
Football.
Okay. What did you study at Bethany?
Mathematics and economics.
Okay. And then that took you to what? Teaching?
No, bounced around a little bit, did some financial consulting work. Then I tried playing football a little bit longer, semi-pro arena league, and met a gentleman, Joe Golden, Sr., who was our coach, owner at the time, got me involved at Holy Family Institute.
Oh, I heard that.
Down on 65.
I know where that's at.
So I was working with at-risk children and was able to play and travel on weekends and things. And so that kind of led me into the education. So they pulled me from the residential program into the educational program. I kind of just veered down that path. I was the assistant principal at Avonworth for a good while, 14 years, through a shared funding stream through Act 30 program, the state funding for court-adjudicated children and Avonworth. The money was drying up a little bit, so I moved out of Avonworth job and moved into a director of alternative education program. And then about 15 years ago, we started our own program,
Oh, okay.
our own company, and we have a couple schools, and we provide services in about 15 different
So
schools.
that keeps you busy and also keeps you able to get there in time for high school and stuff. How do you do that around family? I know you have at least your one son. How many other children do you have?
I have 2 other children. My son just graduated from Seton Hill, played
Okay.
football there. He is now a graduate assistant at Wheeling
And that was,
University.
first name was?
Tyler.
Tyler. I knew it was Tyler. Okay.
Yep.
Talk to us about your other kids.
My daughter was playing basketball at Allegheny College, had a major concussion.
Oh, geez.
Had to sit out a semester of school. She's okay now, so she's transferred, and now she's playing volleyball at Pitt Greensburg.
Okay.
She's in between a sophomore and junior because of that hiatus. And I have a junior Avonworth girl playing basketball and ice skater.
How are you able to bounce all around all that and see them play? And I mean, a lot of coaches get pulled away from sports because their kids grow up, and I've talked to coaches every single year where it's just their family gets big, they don't want to stick their wife with it. How do you manage it all? How are you able to see them play at times?
Yeah, for me, the toughest time of their years were like the middle school sports years.
Right.
When they were like after school. So at Avonworth and their conference or their whatever you want to call it, athletic group, AD's group, they played girls basketball in the fall.
Okay.
And then football's played in the fall. And then my daughter played volleyball in the fall in middle school. So that was a tough time for me missing out those things. But as they moved on to high school, it got a little bit easier.
Let's go back to football a little bit. Let's talk about do you take your system to Elwood City, or do you build around what talent you have?
A little bit of both. We take the system and really, scale back on what our guys are best at, and that becomes our focal point. When we were at Olsh, we were able to throw the ball a lot.
Right.
Our
You had receivers, had
quarterbacks
quarterbacks, had protection.
Yeah, and hopefully we can mold into that. We're getting more and more balanced.
Okay.
We still want to be balanced, and I think we're starting to get to that point.
Defensively, is it more like reaction to what the other team does, or are you pursuing and doing what you do? Or do you kind of, because I've been on the sidelines, I'll see where coaches will notice what's going to happen and will change things, or you just do what you do and not worry about what the other team does?
Both. We do what we do our way.
You're good at answering these questions.
And that being said, we want to take away what the team does best.
Right.
So try to make them one-dimensional, take away their best plays, isolate their best players, and go from there, but still doing it within our system.
As Ryan brought up, you guys are playing Freedom this week. Now, Freedom struggled the last 2 weeks. They've had a couple injuries, but they were able to throw the ball effectively early in the season. They were also able to run the ball as well. They've completely changed the way they do things from a ground and pound to a mixing it up. What do you have to do well to stop them?
Well, one, naturally, we have to stop the run, and we have to identify where their receiver is number 7, Cody
Patterson.
He's a very good football player.
Yep,
So
he was our player of the game. Yep.
So we have to identify where he is and make sure we keep eyes on him.
So, being that a lot of these kids have been on teams that haven't had success, what is a key to get kids to believe in themselves when things go wrong? Because I've been around programs, and specifically me and Mr. Rebel, we used to go and do Summit Academy games, and they would play well, and then one thing would go wrong, and then they're in a dumper. And it seems like in football, one thing goes wrong sometimes, the group collectively just lets down. How do you get kids that have been losing to understand that things are going to go wrong, even on winning teams? How do you get them to have that confidence through the whole game?
I think just stay positive. I mean, it's hard to do from a coaching's perspective. Probably lost my positivity a little bit last week at times.
Yeah.
But, I think, in beating Brentwood week 1 with, we stopped a 2-point conversion there late in the game. I think maturity and just positive. I think maybe last year, the year before, prior, I don't know, we maybe lose that game. So I think, being in tough games and tough situations, if you can, overcome those, you build a winning mentality.
Now, I ask you this off camera, off air. obviously you built Our Lady of Sacred Heart up. You had a winning team at Stowe Rocks and kept them up, and now you're attempting to build Elwood City back up. Is it tougher? And I know you're going to say it's both, but is it tougher to take a team that's not won in a long time and get in the community and kids and build that back up, or is it tougher to sustain winning? I know you're going to tell me. It's
No, I'm
both.
not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, but I'll say it the other way.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I haven't been at a place, more than 6 years.
Right.
So how long is that win? I don't know.
But at Stowe Rocks, you won consistently.
Yes, and at Olsh we did as
Yes.
well. So I think having, I don't know. It's a tough question.
Because you can't just sit on your laurels,
No.
because then teams will come and get you.
Right.
But when you're trying to build a team up, it's completely different. You're trying to get to that level, So that's I've always wondered what's harder to do, because in this day and age, kids can go and do other things. There's a million things for them to do. They don't have to play football. Back in the day, if you didn't play football and there was nothing else, you worked.
Right, or they transfer. Right.
Right,
I
exactly.
Get it. Yeah, I get it.
Right. I mean, you worked or you played football. Now it's like video games. They go to work. They go rowing. They go hunting. There's a million things to do. Right. So, I mean, have you changed your coaching style all over the years, or has it pretty much been the same?
I think pretty much the same. What you see is what you get. You know what I mean? So
is that good or is that bad? Is there times you've wanted to? Is there anything you've ever changed over the years from the beginning?
Probably more understanding of family situations.
Okay.
Just understanding, what goes on at home. Demands of.
Okay.
I don't know, being an older sibling. You
Okay.
might have to babysit. You might have to work to help your
Right.
family.
Right.
A
little different than it was back in the day.
Back in the day, if you miss practice, if
you miss
miss a day,
practice, you
didn't
ran.
play,
Now it's a
things
little bit
like that.
different.
Yeah, so a little more tolerant and understanding of family situations. And I think probably one thing I did change, years and years, we always had football camp in the morning, and then we moved it to the afternoon because when I was at Stowe Rocks, if we had it in the morning, we're going to have kids. Now you got to run kids, you got to discipline kids, kids are going to quit.
Right.
So we sort of just moved it to the afternoon. It's been
better.
Very, very much.
Let me ask you something, Coach. Yes. You're going into conference play. You mentioned the Brentwood game. You just won that game. Earlier in the show, we mentioned the Carlington win. Going into conference play with a 2-1 record, are you where you thought you would be at this point, getting ready to start conference play? Do you feel that you're a little bit ahead, a little behind? Are you happy? Are you content with where you are at this point starting conference play?
I think I don't know. I don't know what I am. I think that we're headed in the right direction.
Okay.
I like to see us play more consistently. Statistically, we are dominating every aspect of the game.
You look good, yeah.
Except the scoreboard itself.
Okay.
So I think, we're just giving up big plays, too many big plays.
Okay.
Some unfortunate calls naturally go against you. But I'd like to think we could play better against Brentwood, and I think we could have played better against Carlington. Both are wins, and we just gave up a couple big plays against Union, which is the difference.
And is it going to help you? Is it going to help you that Chins do have a lot of home games this year?
Well, it's not going to hurt.
It's not going to hurt, right?
Right. And having a veteran team come back.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's for us. I think I'm happier that we had our struggles last year when we started 7 sophomores and 2 freshmen, as opposed to going on a road with 7 juniors and 2 sophomores. So I think that's going to help us down the road.
Okay, real quick before we'll go over a tiny bit, we're just going to go over the games in the county real quick. In 4A in the Parkway Conference, Blackhawk, they've started out 0-3. They head to Ambridge, it's 1-2. Central Valley at 2-1. They head to Chartiers Valley, that's 0-3. West Allegheny at 2-1. Newcastle 0-3. Then the Western Hills Conference in 3A. Hopewell goes to Avonworth. Avonworth looking to be one of the stronger teams in 3A. You've coached at Avonworth before. They've got a heck of a football program there.
Yeah, they're definitely doing it right there.
Quaker Valley at 0-3. They head to Seton LaSalle 2-1. They're a little bit better than last year. Probably the game of the week in our area is South Park at 3-0 and at Beaver at 3-0. One of those teams, unfortunately, is going to have a loss. In 2A, the Midwest, Beaver Falls. That's the game we're going to have. Beaver Falls at New Brighton, the Jug game. That'll be on air at 6:30. Game time at 7. Freedom at Elwood City, obviously. We've been talking to Coach about that. Mohawk at 2-1, at Riverside 0-2, and Western Beaver at 1-2, and the Shannock at 2-1. Coach, a lot of good teams in your conference. There's, right now there's no real separation. It looks like the Shannock Mohawk at top, but things could change week to week.
Absolutely. I think in our conference, year in and year out, it's well represented in the playoffs and at Heinz Field. We're going to beat each other. Whoever comes out will be battle tested and ready to make that playoff.
It looks like there'll probably be at least one, maybe two pretty good teams not make the playoffs. Quickly in 1A, the Big Seven, Shenango at Union, both 2-1. Southside Beaver 3-0 at Northgate, 2-1. Northgate surprising 2-1. They're on the rebound. Summit Academy heads to Rochester. And then in 1A, the Black Hills, Avella at Cornell. Cornell at 3-0. Carlington at Olsh, your squad from before, they're at 1-2. And Fort Cherry at 3-0 at Chartiers Houston 0-3. And then quickly, non-conference, another great game. Montour at 3-0 at Aliquippa 2-0. And Moon still struggling after that phenomenal year 2 years ago at Penn Hills. Montour at Aliquippa. Aliquippa still Aliquippa, but Montour, Lucero told me this was the year he was shooting for.
Yeah, he's excited about this team. He's got a lot of returning players and some good size and some good athletes.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to Pizza Joe's. Of course, as always, we want to thank Luciano Gagrick, Michael Walters, Evan Twaddell, Chris Smiley, Chris's parents for coming. Thanks to Dan Bradley for coming. Thanks to Ryan Garazunas behind the scenes. I think I got the name right finally. And thanks to all of you for listening. And one more time, right here on Beaver County Radio, it's the Coach's Corner. Go Wolverines! I went a minute over.
Did you know Fisher's New Brighton Foodland is as close as a click? That's right. You can order your groceries right from your home. Click GroceryStoreNewBrighton.com and fill your shopping cart up. It's just that easy. Or stop in to shop for your favorite items. They specialize in fresh meats, hoagies, bakery items, and of course the deli. Pick up a delicious hot meal to go like fried chicken dinners, and don't forget fried fish every Friday. Don't cook, make it a Foodland day. Visit Fisher's New Brighton Foodland, your one stop to shop for all needs, or click GroceryStoreNewBrighton.com.
I'm Daniel Frank, and I'm a Beaver Bobcat. That's because we are training for a long and a very profitable postseason once high school is over at the Beaver County and Technology Center.
If you're an employer, what do you look for in a prospective new hire? A proven track record is usually the #1 trait. For 46 years now, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center has been creating the workforce that has shaped Western Pennsylvania industry and service sector enterprises. It's the program with proven experience that employers know they can count on when they need to fill their workforce. Enroll your child or grandchild at the known quantity among educators and business leaders alike for 4 decades. The Beaver County Career and Technology Center. Signing up through your local public school is easy and can give your student the ability, in many cases, to make more money in certain fields than college graduates. Free career training at Beaver County Career and Technology Center is the perfect choice. Visit bcctc.org.